Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hello everyone, we are from Group 8, A Afternoon Class English Education Study Program at IKIP PGRI Pontianak. So, in this video, we will do a presentation about simultaneous interpreting and public interpreting. I'm Alda Fuadiah, and I will explain about what is interpreting and what is the difference between translation and interpreting. So, what is interpreting? Before discussing simultaneous and public interpreting, first, we must know what interpreting is. Interpreting is a rendering a spoken or signed message into another spoken or signed language, preserving the register and meaning of the source language content. Unlike translation, interpreting is more challenging. Firstly, the communication skills which it requires are clearly different, as interpreters need to be expert oral communicators. Secondly, while translators often have relatively unlimited opportunity to make alterations and improvements before submitting a final version, interpreters are required to create a finished product in real time without the possibility of going back and making revisions. In other words, interpreting, unlike writing translation, is both non-correctable and non-verifiable. Okay, next I will explain about the difference between translation and interpreting. Many people use the terms interchangeably, which only increases the confusion, when in reality there are two distinct things that don't need to be confusing at all. The single easiest way to explain their differences is that translations involves written material between more than one language, and interpreting involves spoken content between multiple languages. Translation is rendering text from a source language into a target language while preserving meaning. Translation is written. While linguistic and cultural skills are critical, the most important quality a good translator must have is the ability to write well in the target language. Skilled translators must have the ability to understand the source language and the culture of the country where the text originated, then using a good library of dictionaries and reference material to render that material clearly and accurately into the target language. Even bilingual individuals can rarely express themselves in a given subject equally well in both languages, and many excellent translators are not fully bilingual to begin with. Knowing these limitations, a good translator will only translate documents into his or her native language. When choosing a translator, it is important to insist that the translators only translate into their native language and into an area of their subject matter's expertise. Interpreting is an oral form of translation, enabling real-time cross-linguistic communication either face-to-face in a conference setting or over the phone. It can also be called oral translation, real-time translation, or personal translation. This is the process where a person repeats what is said out loud in a different language. Interpreting, just like translation, is basically paraphrasing. The interpreter listens to a speaker in one language, grabs the content of what is being said, and then paraphrases his or her understanding of the meaning using the tools of the target language. An interpreter changes words into meaning, and then changes meaning back into words of a different language.
Hello everyone, I'm RIBKA and I will explain about simultaneous interpreting, pros and cons of simultaneous interpreting, and the last, about public interpreting. Guys, do you know what is simultaneous interpreting? It is the oral translation of one language to another, delivered in real time. Unlike consecutive interpretation, where the speaker pauses every sentence or two to allow the interpreter to translate, simultaneous interpretation keeps pace with the speaker throughout the speech or presentation. Nah, sebagai penerjemah simultan, harus menjadi pendengar yang sangat baik. Mereka perlu mendengar, menganalisis, dan mereproduksi kata-kata pembicara dalam bahasa lain. Semuanya dalam waktu yang nyata. Penerjemah simultan juga membutuhkan kesadaran budaya yang tinggi, sehingga kata-kata yang diterjemahkan dapat disampaikan dengan cara yang benar. Okay, next. Pros and cons of simultaneous interpreting. The first pros. The biggest advantage of simultaneous interpreting is that it allows the speaker to deliver their word naturally, without having to keep stopping and starting while the interpreter chat up. Teknik interpretasi simultan juga berarti bahwa audiens dapat mengambil manfaat dari gerakan pembicara dan isyarat nonverbal lainnya, karena mereka dapat mendengarkan dengan menunda hanya beberapa detik. Ini menguntungkan pembicara dan audiens dengan meningkatkan dampak dan efektivitas komunikasi. Poin plusnya, dari terjemahan simultan dapat digunakan untuk menyampaikan pesan yang mengutamakan kecepatan dalam situasi darurat dan zona tanggap bencana. Penyampaian informasi keselamatan yang tepat waktu dapat menyelamatkan nyawa. Second, cons of simultaneous interpreting. Simultaneous interpretation is built around the premise of there being the presenter and an audience. Ini tidak cocok untuk percakapan dua arah. Dengan demikian, acara seperti konferensi yang menggunakan interpretasi simultan untuk menyampaikan pidato mungkin kesulitan untuk memfasilitasi sesi tanya jawab ketika pembicara selesai. Kontra utama lainnya adalah bahwa interpretasi simultan adalah lain yang mahal untuk disediakan. Mengingat sifat pekerjaannya yang melelahkan, juru bahasa simultan cenderung bekerja berpasangan. Artinya, setiap orang yang menggunakan penerjemah simultan harus membayar 2 orang untuk setiap bahasa yang ingin digunakan dalam menyampaikan pidato. Setiap juru bahasa dapat bekerja selama sekitar 20 menit sampai 30 menit sebelum mereka melakukannya. Lebih lama dari itu dan fokus mereka. Dengan demikian, kualitas yang mereka berikan mungkin berkurang. Okay, the last, public interpreting. The public service interpretation or public interpreting is used in the meeting held in court, hospital, benefit office, police station, prison, local council, social service, and also local government such as housing. Translator who provide service to the public sector must have specific skills to be able to do the job efficiently. The file of the public sector is very sensitive and term the culture and politics. Language changes constantly, often as a result of various social political aspect. Jadi, untuk itu peraturan pertemuan layanan publik seringkali sensitif. Yang perlu diingat adalah pentingnya bahwa penerjemah tidak memihak pada pihak manapun. Okay guys, I think that enough. Thank you.
Jadi, dapat disimpulkan bahwa interpreter adalah seseorang yang pekerjaannya berhubungan dengan bidang kebahasaan, khususnya bahasa asing. Satu-satunya cara termudah untuk menjelaskan perbedaan antara translator dan interpreter adalah bahwa terjemahan melibatkan materi tertulis antara lebih dari satu bahasa dan menafsirkan melibatkan konten lisan antara beberapa bahasa. Interpretasi simultan adalah terjemahan lisan dari satu bahasa ke bahasa lain, disampaikan secara real time. Interpretasi layanan publik atau interpretasi publik digunakan dalam pertemuan yang diadakan di pengadilan, rumah sakit, kantor polisi, penjara, dewan lokal, layanan sosial, dan juga pemerintah daerah. We think our explanation about simultaneous and public interpreting is done. Thank you so much for watching this video. We hope this video can be useful for you guys. If you guys have some advice or suggestions, are welcome. Once again, thank you and have a nice day.